So I just watched the footage of my assault, and I'm gonna say it's definitely violent. Thank you so much, my best friend Summer, for literally going to the liquor store where it happened in front of and getting the surveillance footage of the assault. I'm shocked I even got this. I have sent it to NYU security, and they're forwarding it to the police, and it actually is the guy that has been assaulting many girls around campus right now.
So the girl that is in that clip that I opened this video with is called Amelia Lewis. She happens to be a 20-year-old New York University student. Obviously, for those of you not listening via podcast, she also happens to be a very attractive young 20-year-old NYU student. And in this viral video, she ended up recounting an event that occurred when she was walking in and around the NYU campus, and a man who, by the way, apparently has attacked multiple women in and around this area, ended up targeting her, striking her from behind, throwing her to the ground, and just wandered off like it was no big deal. But Amelia did not decide to leave it there. She decided to obtain the footage of this assault, add it in with her own commentary, explain how when she talked about this and exposed this among her group of friends and with the campus, that this guy was a known attacker. However, nobody was doing anything about it until this clip went viral. Nobody was actually making arrests on this repeat offender, despite multiple reports of him doing the same exact thing to other girls in and around this area, because, you know, criminals are considered innocent Beba Angel Aladdins, at least until the embarrassment factor is hiked up to such a degree when an attractive 20-year-old refuses to remain silent. So this is what we're going to talk about today, because Amelia did something absolutely amazing in this particular case, because not only did she help remove a violent repeat offender from the streets, but she exposed that but for the fact that she happened to be an attractive girl that told her story, and that story ended up going viral, nothing would have been done against this individual up until the point where I guess he escalated to killing somebody, and then all of a sudden people would say, wow, nobody could have seen this coming. Let's talk about mental health. Maybe we could address it at this moment in time. And honestly, when you really think about it, the real victim in this particular case is the man who violently attacked women over and over again with no consequences, not the people who were actually victimized. So this is what we're going to talk about today. But before we do, I want to thank everybody who supports this channel via actualjusticewarrior.com/join.
Give me the money. Give me the money. Okay?
He is a tall white male with long brunette hair and a long brunette beard, and is wearing gray sweatpants and a big black puffer jacket and a blue towel around his neck. So if you see him, please call 911 and report him to the police, because they are looking for him, because he has done this to so many girls, and this is disgusting. So I'm just gonna say trigger warning, because it's honestly a really hard watch. I mean for me, just because it happened to me, but just watch if you're interested, but it's definitely not cute.
So look, as you could see and hear for yourself, the girl sounds like a young 20-year-old, a young NYU student. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you, although for those of you who are going to put in the comments of this particular video that you need to think about who you're voting for, and who did this girl vote for, and did she vote blue no matter who, therefore she deserves to be attacked on the streets, she actually addresses that question a little bit later on in this video. By the way, to very positive results. But as you could see, she ends up getting this footage herself. It's not like the police did it. It's not like NYU did it. She ends up forwarding that information to NYU, who is supposed to forward it to the police. But again, there was no action on this. There was no news stories or anything of the sort, despite the fact that there was an individual that was easily identifiable. Again, this guy was obviously a homeless crazed person that hangs around this particular area, attacking multiple women. And again, there was no attention to it until Amelia spoke up, until she highlighted the problem. This violent repeat offender wasn't even being arrested. And by the way, we're going to cut to a news report where the police made an arrest right away, because the police knew who this guy was. Everybody knew who this guy was. He hangs around this area constantly. And again, he was allowed to operate with impunity time and time again, striking multiple women at one of the most prestigious campuses in the entire city of New York. And by the way, in the entire country. But yeah, people thought no no big deal. We don't want to talk about it. That innocent Baba Angel homeless person, he happened to be experiencing homelessness. He was houseless, as the left likes to call it. So honestly, can you really blame him for attacking random women just for the fun of it? And by the way, he has a lengthy history of violently doing this in the past. Is that really his fault? Isn't it society's fault? Isn't it the girl's fault for being so privileged in and around such despair?
So this is right before it all happened. So I circled where I'm walking. I just crossed the street and I'm walking down the right side of Broadway. And then you can see that he literally followed me across the street. And that's him right there. And he literally targets me and approaches me and does this. You can tell literally everyone around is literally in shock. These girls don't know what to do. It's so terrible. And then they thankfully helped me up and asked if I was okay. And then you can see the man was asking if I was okay, and then later on he helped me call the police.
Now look, I had to cut the video right there, obviously, because YouTube's terms of service will flag my video, but the whole thing will be linked as well as Amelia's X account where she posted this video in the description of the video under where it says sources. It will also be labeled for all you dumb idiots who complain that you can't find it. But yeah, it looks like this guy ran up behind her, specifically targeted her, and I'm not sure if he ended up smacking her on the ass and then throwing her to the ground or punching her in the lower back. It's not exactly 100% clear from what I can see on this video.
And as I'm walking with my headphones on listening to music, I feel something slap me so hard, literally on my ass, so hard. And I was oh my god, ow, that hurts so bad. And I was I thought it was one of my friends. So I was gonna turn around and be ow, that hurts so bad, why did you do that? But when I turned around, I just saw this old white guy, and right when I turned around, he grabbed my fucking hair this and yanked me and threw me to the ground.
But again, no action was taken on this particular case prior to Amelia going out on her own and getting the footage. And by the way, as somebody who actually got my car stolen and had tried to find video footage of that from surveillance cameras that the guy might have passed by, this is something that typically they don't turn over to you. Even if you give exact time that you're looking for, you do not receive this information from the local businesses. But again, this might be the difference of me being a man in my 30s who's reasonably attractive, but not exactly a supermodel, versus an attractive 20-year-old who again ended up getting so much attention on her particular case, and just makes me feel bad for all the not as attractive women who were assaulted by this guy that got completely ignored up until this point.
I just really want to emphasize how not okay this is. I am a student at NYU. I should not be scared to be walking the street to go to my 9:30 a.m. class. These people are disgusting, and they should not be able to be walking around the street freely, targeting girls and doing this, because I heard that this guy did this a month ago. That is not okay. We need to get these people. That's not okay. I'm honestly still in shock, but I'm more enraged that things like this are able to happen in this city, and we really need to do something about it because this is unacceptable. This just shows that you really need to reflect on who you're voting for and supporting right now, because New York needs help and we're just not getting the help we need, and this is crazy.
So look, everything this girl said is obvious and true, and I do like the fact that she kind of punctuated this video by saying that you really need to reflect on who you're voting for right now, because obviously this is unacceptable. You shouldn't be scared to walk the streets of a major city at 9:30 in the morning, again, broad daylight, when there's a lot of people on the streets, as you saw right there, but this has become the norm, again, due to the fact that people continue to vote in the wrong people. And of course, the wrong people are District Attorney Alvin Bragg, who thinks that criminals like this are innocent Baba Angel Aladdins that need to go into diversion programs because they're only assaulting random girls on the street to feed their starving family. And as if District Attorney Alvin Bragg covering Manhattan and letting criminals out time and time again wasn't bad enough, New York just had a mayoral election. They just elected Zohran Mamdani, and this is a guy who supports defunding the police. He has called for it over 50 times on X. He has said it on video.
Are you for defunding the police? Are you for a serious reform that people can see on the ground?
I am in favor of defunding the police.
And recently, he just added a man to his transition team who not only wants to get rid of the police, but he explicitly says he wants to replace it with nothing, maybe some nonprofits in order to protect the innocent Beba Angel criminals. But in addition to that, the way that he sells it is by recommending that you kill the police officer in your mind and then kill that police officer over and over again, which again is a hilarious laugh line to this individual.
We got to kill the cop in our head.
Yeah, over and over again.
Yeah, people ask me this. Well, if we're not going to have police, what is the new police going to look like? And I'm like, no, it's not some new form of police. The policing is about violence work, and I want to get the violence out of it, whatever we call it. And that doesn't mean turning social workers into violence workers, and it doesn't mean trying to pretend that cops can be social workers. And it also doesn't mean everything has to be under the control of the state.
Right.
That we can do co-counseling and we can do pod mapping and we can try to do that kind of person-to-person organizing of our daily lives and our living spaces and our working spaces. We can have more trust and reliance on each other. And
so while this girl is speaking up and she is identifying the problems with who you vote for and the consequences of voting, her demographic of unmarried women, young unmarried women are the key group that are actually backing the policies that guarantee that this guy will not only be let out time and time again, but he will be given praise as he attacks multiple women, because in reality, he's the real victim of society, and it's absolutely embarrassing. And by the way, this is not the first time that we saw a viral video end up exposing repeat offenders being released on the streets time and time again. If you guys will recall, we actually did a video on this channel of people talking on TikTok about getting sucker punched randomly on the street, and then the TikTok algorithm actually grouped these videos together and started feeding them to people, and then people started realizing that a large portion of these women were talking about the same exact suspect, but then in addition to that, there were other suspects that were also sucker punching random girls in New York City that were going unaddressed. But again, like I told you, this guy actually was arrested. So let us get into a little bit of the criminal history that the Manhattan District Attorney's Office and the soon-to-be Mamdani's administration are likely to give him accommodation for going forward.
She, of course, reported that to police. He was later caught yesterday, actually, and he was identified by police as 45-year-old James Rizzo, who is homeless. He was arrested yesterday after police responded to a 911 call. They found him sleeping inside a nearby apartment building near Washington Square Park. Rizzo was charged with assault, sexual abuse, and also persistent sexual abuse for his history of assaults on women. He was released from state prison in September after serving 2 years on a persistent sexual abuse conviction. Rizzo has 16 prior arrests. Court documents revealed that 2 years ago, he groped a 33-year-old woman's breast on Green Street, also here in the Village, and then asked, "Oh, you want more?" Rizzo also has a prior murder charge from 1997. The victim, meanwhile, who identifies herself as Amelia Lewis, is speaking out this morning on X, saying she is relieved that there has been an arrest.
So as you just heard right there, Rizzo has a lengthy criminal history. Included in that lengthy criminal history are multiple similar instances to what we saw right here. And again, this doesn't even include the other reports and the other people who have reached out to today's victim, our most recent and notable victim, Amelia, and told her that that same exact person did the same thing to them while they were walking in and around the same area. So this was just a guy that they dumped onto the streets, said no big deal, nothing to worry about. And by the way, if you guys are curious, not included in this local news report is how he was actually caught. Because guess what? He wasn't caught because the 911 call at the time that this occurred, that definitely was done by Amelia and the people that were around her. He was caught burglarizing an apartment, in the act of breaking into an apartment in a building that was nearby this area, and he has subsequently been charged with 4 burglaries in that same building. So then, after the video went viral, they realized that this was the guy, so he was also arraigned on the charges related to assaulting Amelia. So this is a person that, again, had been assaulting multiple people. You have a report from a month prior where there was no arrest as far as we could tell in relation to that thing, and and you have multiple women coming forward saying that yes, he's grabbing at me, he's groping me, he's slapping me on my backside. Again, very perverted actions. But in addition to that, he's also throwing in a random grab bag of other crimes that, guess what, nobody had any interest in addressing because, oh my god, innocent Baba Angel Aladdin, why can't we give him multiple chances? He only has committed crimes at least 16 times according to our knowledge, and of course all the other additional crimes that he had yet to be arrested for. And again, nobody should be surprised by this, nobody should be shocked by this, because this is the express intent of bail reform, to give criminals, despite their lengthy history, a same-day automatic release time and time again, to release them from prison early, to sick them on broader society, and then to have soft on crime district attorneys like Alvin Bragg pass up each and every opportunity in order to prosecute these perpetrators. This is what they wanted, this is what they got, and very unfortunately, the residents of the city of New York, and by the way, I am not including Amelia in that, decided to look at all the candidates and vote for the guy most likely to affirm these stupid ass policies, most likely to pander to the criminal rather than the victim, Zorhan Mamdani. So yeah, good luck to the city of New York. That combination of Mamdani and Alvin Bragg is going to be absolutely deadly for the residents of the city of New York. And make no mistake about it, that is not hyperbole, because this is what they want. This is what they bargained for, and this is what they got. So again, hats off to Amelia for actually making sure that this guy was charged appropriately. And of course, I leave it off to you guys out there in the audience. What do you think about this particular case? What do you think about this guy, again, supposedly victimizing multiple students at NYU and nothing being done even after he has a lengthy history and he's been in and around this area until the video went viral? Again, all your thoughts down in the comments below. As per usual, if you like the video, show them by leaving a like, subscribe for more content, follow me on my social medias, support me via the support links in the description of this video. This has been me talking about the madness of New York City's criminal justice system. Till next time.